Have you ever stepped into a room full of people and felt like an invisible tree growing in the middle of a crowded garden, unnoticed and unheard, yearning to be seen but unsure how to blossom? That tension pulsing in your chest is the very edge of possibility, where social intelligence lives, waiting for you to claim it. Imagine transforming that fleeting anxiety into quiet power, turning every conversation into a bridge instead of a battleground, and discovering that the key to genuine connection isn't in clever lines, but in deep, unshakable presence. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to learn how to awaken a part of yourself that most people never even realize exists, guided by the timeless wisdom of the Stoics and the ancient proverbs that have shaped human hearts for millennia. When you first walk into a gathering, notice the weight of thoughts pressing behind your eyes. Do you feel the impulse to filter every word, to rehearse every greeting as if you were an actor performing for an invisible audience? That impulse is a prison. The ancient Greek sage Epictetus reminded us that we are disturbed not by what happens to us, but by our opinions about what happens. If you carry a silent story of doubt or fear, you will project it onto every face you meet, and they will unknowingly mirror it back. To break free, pause. Feel the breath entering your lungs, the pulse at your temples. In that space between inhale and exhale lies your true power. The power to choose your state, to step into the world unburdened by the ghost of your anxieties. Listen, not with the hurried half-attention that scrolls social media, but with the ancient discipline of presence. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his journal that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. What hue are you wearing today? Are your thoughts splashed with the anxious red of insecurity, the muddy browns of self-doubt, or the clear blue of quiet confidence? When someone speaks, let their words pass through you like a gentle stream, cleansing your own assumptions rather than adding to them. Resist the urge to plan your response while they speak. Instead, move your attention to subtle clues, the tremor in their voice, the way their hands cradle a cup, the fleeting glimmer in their eyes. True social intelligence hears the silence between words, the unspoken yearnings that lie beneath the surface. In ancient China, Lao Tzu taught that a leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will say, "We did it ourselves." Apply this to every conversation. Be the presence that allows others to shine, the invisible hand that guides the dance without needing applause. When you practice listening in this way, you become rare. People will feel understood on a level they rarely experience, so deeply in fact that they may not even realize why they trust you so quickly. And in that trust lies the secret of influence, not through manipulation, but through genuine empathy. But empathy alone is not enough. You must also learn the art of non-reaction, the Stoic discipline of remaining calm in the eye of emotional storms. Picture a pond at dawn, its surface as smooth as glass. When a pebble drops in, it sends ripples, but the center remains still. That stillness is what you must cultivate. Seneca told us that sometimes in the waves of change, we find our true direction. When someone provokes you with a cutting remark or dismisses your idea, your first instinct may be to lash out, to defend your ego as though it were a wounded animal. Instead, pause, breathe, ask yourself, what is this person really seeking? Often anger is just fear in disguise, and hostility is a cry for understanding. By choosing not to react immediately, you give yourself the space to respond with clarity rather than emotion. And in doing so, you embody a strength that draws respect rather than fear. Remember that the Stoics did not preach cold detachment, they preached wise engagement. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In every interaction, you have a choice: to be swept away by the current of others' emotions or to stand firm in the bedrock of your own character. When you practice this again and again, you transform awkward exchanges into opportunities for growth and tense confrontations into moments of mutual discovery. There is another layer to master: mirroring without imitation. In psychology, we learn that people connect more deeply with those who subtly reflect their own energy. But there is a fine line between mirroring and mimicry. If you become a chameleon, you lose yourself. If you remain rigid, you repel others. The Stoics called for balance. Adapt like water, said Lao Tzu, but never lose your depth. When you match someone's pace of speech, soften your tone to theirs. Nod at the cadence of their passion. You show that you see them. But you do this from the secure core of your own values. Never performing, always choosing. That authenticity is magnetic. At the same time, you must protect your inner peace with clear boundaries. Kindness does not mean weakness. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily: withdraw into yourself as into a citadel, your own fortress. If someone disrespects your time or crosses your lines, you do not need to justify or argue. You quietly enact the boundary. You leave the conversation. You limit your availability. You redirect your energy toward those who honor you. This teaches the world how to treat you with respect, not because you demand it, but because you demonstrate it through action. As you cultivate these practices, pause frequently to reflect. In the evening, revisit your interactions like a general reviewing the day's battles. Ask, where did I slip into old patterns? Where did I hold steady? What emotions rose unbidden, and how did I respond? The Stoics kept daily journals for this very reason: to study their own minds as a gardener studies each plant in the garden. This reflection turns experience into wisdom, raw moments into polished insight. But social intelligence is not a solitary quest. Seek out mentors and peers who modeled these skills. Walk with the wise. Aristotle said, "Those who know the truth are not equal to those who love it." Surround yourself with people who value growth, who call you to higher ground without tearing you down, and offer the same gift in return: your own presence, your own deep listening, your own steady heart in the storms they face. Every principle you practice here ripples outward, creating a world where connection thrives. When you meet someone's gaze with genuine interest, you give them the courage to be themselves. When you respond to conflict with calm restraint, you teach them that disagreements can be doors, not walls. And when you hold your boundaries with clarity and compassion, you show that respect is a two-way street. You may wonder, can this really change my life? The Stoics would say it is not the magnitude of the change, but the direction. Each moment you choose presence over distraction, empathy over assumption, calm over reaction, authenticity over performance. You carve deeper channels of trust and understanding. Over time, those channels become rivers that transform every aspect of your life: your friendships, your family, your career, even how you see yourself. So here is your final call. Begin now. The next time you enter a room, feel the subtle shift within as you choose to pause and breathe. The next time someone speaks, let your mind quiet long enough to truly hear. The next time emotion surges, remember the strength in stillness. The next time you sense a boundary crossed, act with dignified clarity. The next time you reflect on your day, honor both your victories and your stumbles. Social intelligence is not a talent reserved for a chosen few. It is a practice open to anyone willing to look inward and act outward with wisdom. It is the art of living well with others, guided by the ancient torch of Stoic thought. And as you walk this path, you will discover that the most profound connection you can form is not only with others, but with the deepest parts of yourself. Stay curious, Stay courageous and let your presence become the gift that transforms every conversation into an opportunity for connection, understanding, and growth. If you embrace these teachings, you won't just improve your social intelligence. You will redefine what it means to be truly human.